If you're watching this video, you're probably contemplating filing for divorce, which means you're going through one of the most stressful moments in your life. And one of the foremost questions you have is, how do I hire a lawyer? What criteria do I rely on? Sure, maybe a friend or a relative referred someone to you, but even if they referred someone to you, you're going to look that person up, you're going to see if they have a website, you're going to evaluate the website, but how much information can you really glean from that? So I want to offer some pointers on certain things to look for when you're hiring an attorney, a divorce attorney. Number one is obviously experience. You want to ask the lawyer when you meet with him or her how much experience they have, how long have they been practicing law? And perhaps more importantly, is their practice exclusively devoted to family law, or are they a jack of all trades, a generalist who does family law and wills and criminal? Obviously, somebody who focuses exclusively on family law is going to be more well-versed in that topic, is going to have a better grasp and command of the issues that you're likely to experience during your divorce. Another consideration is whether that attorney is board certified. Less than 10% of lawyers in the state of Texas are board certified in any one or any given area of the law. Less than 1% of practicing lawyers in the state of Texas are board certified in family law. I'm board certified in family law. What does that mean to you as a consumer of legal services? What gauntlet did I have to run through in order to achieve board certification? Well, number one, I had to demonstrate to the Texas Board of Legal Specialization that I had practiced law for at least 5 years, that I had devoted at least 90% of my practice to family law, and that I had fulfilled certain practice requirements, meaning I had to demonstrate that I had a certain number of trials that dealt with child custody issues. I had a certain number of trials that dealt with property division. I had at least 25 mediations that I was first chair counsel on. I also needed referrals, recommendations from other attorneys who also practice family law. And finally, I had to sit through a rigorous 2-day examination, sort of like a bar exam, except it's focused only on one area of law, obviously family law, and I had to pass that exam. So board certification means that you've achieved certain milestones in your career, you've achieved a certain level of or breadth of experience with respect to your practice, and that you've passed a rigorous exam. Now, does board certification mean, did it make me a better lawyer? Not really. I had to study for it. I had a better grasp of the law coming out of the process than I did going in. But board certification isn't really a proxy for trial skills or how well prepared your lawyer is going to be or how effective they're going to be at cross-examination or whether they're going to bill you ethically. It's one factor to look for. There was a time when I wasn't board certified and I still achieved great results on behalf of my client. But as a consumer of legal services and as someone who's new to this process, it's at least a marker that you can look for signifying a certain breadth and level of experience that you want in your attorney. Obviously, look up their educational credentials as well. Most lawyers practicing family law, to be frank, don't have very impressive educational credentials. These are not the folks who are highly recruited by big private law firms coming out of law school. I did work for a big private law firm. I practice family law because I enjoy it, because I like being self-employed, and because it's what I want to do, not because I couldn't get a better paying job. So look at their educational credentials and don't be afraid to ask your lawyer questions about their background and their experience. You also want to look at client reviews. I'm sure as a consumer of legal services, you may be a little skeptical about reviews. I can tell you that some lawyers offer their clients incentives to write reviews, i.e., I'll waive that final invoice you owe me if you write a review on my behalf. I don't do that, but read the reviews. They do give you some context, some insight into how clients perceive that attorney. And finally, you want to interview the lawyer and make your own sort of gut determination as to how articulate, how effective is this person going to be representing you in court? And once you do hire a lawyer, because at the end of the day, this can be a crapshoot. If you're dissatisfied with the service that you're receiving, if you get invoices that don't seem to be lined up with what you think is reasonable, for example, if there's a telephone call that you're being billed for that the lawyer's billing you an hour for, but you recall that conversation only took 10 or 15 minutes, then you're being fleeced. And you should never be afraid to change your divorce lawyer. It happens all the time, for better or for worse. Sometimes lawyers fire clients. Sometimes clients fire lawyers. But if you're not being well served, if your lawyer is not responsive, if he or she is not responding to emails or answering your calls, if you have the sense that your case is being neglected, then you need to find another attorney. And you should find another attorney because your children and your property, the things that you cherish most in life, are at stake.